You didn't watch the earthquake special? And
I watched maybe 10 minutes of it just because I had to do something.
yeah.
I just think I didn't get to digest.
I think
the
it
whole
was
thing.
good. Honestly,
It's what comedy specials used to be. It was fun.
It's what
and
it's
good
what
time.
good comics used to be, with just murdering. People
seemed
forgot
like
somewhere. People forgot that they're supposed to be murdering. I don't know
seemed like
where
it
it
was-
happened, but they forgot where it was like I can have a lot of pleasant jokes, and this is like you should be murdering. And then obviously you can start elevate. Some people start to elevate their ideas before they're fucking. So they'll have a really well thought out fucking socioeconomic point of view bullshit.
Sure.
And it's like, but it's not funny.
That's what it was just like. At one point, I think he said 30 punchlines in fucking 2.5
Incredible.
minutes. It was
It
every
was bang,
line was a
bang.
punchline. He would
then-
let it laugh, hit another like heavy punchline.
It's not like it's not like just punchlines. Each one is like getting hit by a fucking baseball
Yeah.
bat. Bang, bang. And at any moment you'd be like, oh, you can stop now. And he just keep going.
Dude, at any
and
moment,
going.
I would have stopped
And-
after the first one.
I know. And
A good bit of mine, I'm like, oh, I got 2 of them. He had 7 in a bit.
Yeah.
5
You're
minute
like,
special. Good
Yeah.
night.
you guys been great.
and it's only half an hour special or something like that.
Yeah.
It seemed like they were a real audience too. Like they were
Yeah.
a real audience.
But he was a beast, dude.
He's been a murderer for a long time. I'm saying he obviously, but that's why Chappelle did the special. But we used to see him in stand-up New York. When we first moved to the city, he had also moved to the city or was spending a good amount of time here and was in stand-up New York. To the point where we were like,
just
what the fuck?
Of course. Just
Killing.
murdering to a level where you're just like, all right. And then you have to follow that and then be like, so a funny thing happened on the way here today.
Yeah.
I remember
And
hearing him.
immediately I was just like, boo, boo.
Yeah.
I remember hearing him on Sirius XM, like on like Raw Dog or something like that. Before I was a comedian, like 2004, and he was like shitting on like the Bush administration. He's like, I ain't never met a bitch named Condoleezza. I can't remember the exact joke, dude.
Something like that.
The way he said that, I almost fucking crashed my car. I ain't never met a bitch named Condoleezza.
He's so funny, dude.
Yeah.
He's the best.
Just a fucking
Yeah, killer.
Um,
That was so cool that he did that. That Chappelle.
yeah.
It's not fucking.
'Cause-
It's not 5 up and coming casting couch
It's-
fucking
it's him,
douchebags. He
Donnell.
went out and fucking.
But here's the thing that I thought was the best about the special was that a lot of these times, people that kill to a certain level in a room, they don't capture it for some reason. Like, I think a lot of, like, for Joey Diaz's stuff, it's never captured just how well he's killing. So when you can't watch or hear that, you sort of
There
miss-
is always obviously a disconnect when
there's
it's
a lot
in
of
a
comics
different
that
when
are
it's own video.
murderers that you can never quite, like Donnell. I'll be interested now to see Donnell's special with him too, because Donnell's like that. We'll just show up at a room
And just
fucking
level it.
level
Yeah.
it, and then for some reason when they capture it on TV, they're missing that energy. But for some reason they caught it. With,
Ones that stick out in my mind, and not that I'm a great student of it at all, but Bill Burr's first special, fucking Killing Them Softly. Kings of Comedy did that really well.
Oh, Kings of
They
Comedy.
really, you felt like you were there.
Go
yeah?
back and put a set of eyes on Kings of Comedy, dude. It's
Who
murderous.
was on it? Steve Harvey.
It was Steve Harvey,
D.L. Hughley, Cedric, and Bernie.
Bernie Mac. It is
Cooks.
fucking pro. And this is like, they did that way before anybody was doing something like that. And they were like the first, act to be able to sell out like arenas or like whatever the fuck they were, like huge theaters or whatever the fuck. And it was murderous, like fucking killer.
Yeah, all those guys are murderers.
Yeah.
I think you just got to be black to really do well. I kind of feel
It helps.
there's not many whites doing like murdering guys.
No.
Me and Tommy started out. Me and Tommy Cassidy at the Laugh House. Kippy, you went down there a little bit.
Which was an all black
Yeah.
club in
Yeah,
Philly.
Kevin Hart has a
Something,
special
man.
from there.
Yeah. Kevin Hart has his original like album or whatever
Yeah,
was from the Laugh House.
I saw John Laster the other night, and I was talking to him. I was like, because that was the first time I had ever seen anybody kill.
Yeah.
Like kill.
Like, where
I
it
was
hurts.
like, maybe a year in comedy. It was a Friday night down there. It was just packed with fucking hardworking Philadelphia people.
Yeah.
Like just out to have a fucking good time. And Cotton was hosting. Chris Cotton was hosting.
Okay.
Laster featured, and Rob Stapleton was the headliner. And I'm telling you, man, I'd never seen anything like that. Fucking murdering.
Dude.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Laster
People used to
stayed
kill in that
killing.
room. Kill, like to the point where like there was a vibe where I'm like, you just don't experience that in White Room. You just don't. It just doesn't
You just
happen.
don't. I know.
You catch Michael Blackson down there on a fucking Saturday
Lord have
night.
mercy.
Tearing the roof off the place. And
Your head's falling
Yeah.
off.
we sat in the back. I remember we watched Mark Vieira. Mark Vieira. I think you were hosting. Toure was featuring, and Mark Vieira was headlining. And he was like working the club. We were like, I was like maybe a year in. You were like 2 or 3 years in or whatever.
Yeah, I was
and you
hosting.
And he was hosting. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna come hang out and like watch the. Dude, we sat in the back. With my head hurt, and we were just hitting each other. Mark Vieira was like, it was like when gluten became this is 15 years ago or whatever, 11 years ago. When gluten became a thing, he's like, these kids nowadays are allergic to gluten. He goes, who the fuck is gluten? And the place went fucking insane, dude. People were standing up. It was crazy. And you're like, it's not the best joke, but
in that room,
it just
it's what you're talking
was the
about.
funniest
It's
thing I had
entertaining.
ever
You're
heard.
being funny.
You're being
just
funny.
being funny.
You're being hilariously funny.
Dylan said it really well. Guttural laughs. Like it doesn't matter what you're like. You're getting guttural, very from the gut.
We were hurt.
Emotional.
Like I
laughs.
heard people are crying. I saw Lil Rel at Caroline's not too long ago, and he murdered.
He kills. Yeah.
He murdered in that room that night, like nearly harder than I've ever seen anyone. And I mean, at one point I stood up at one point and I was like, what? I was walking around the room going, what? Grabbing some random person beside me. What? I swear everyone's there slapping stuff. People are spilling their French martinis all over the place. It was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Just like murderous level. And then once they're laughing, he'll like
it's just
he'll just repeat the line again.
That
nearly
rhythm
until-
and
yeah.
Toure Gordon's like that too. He fucking
Toure Gordon.
he murders like that.
Yeah.
But I remember
I got a sack onto some black rooms, doesn't it?
It is a muscle. Cotton used to make me do it because like they started phasing themselves out of there a little bit, or just like we weren't there as much.
Yeah.
Well, they started there.
Yeah.
And then they were like, Cotton was like, you gotta go. And I would go and like host these shows and I would do bits about like my low self-esteem or whatever. Dude, I mean, just fucking dying horrible deaths.
Of course, yeah.
Or but when you killed, you fucking, you're like, I'm the
you'd
funniest man in the
you
world.
felt like a part. You feel like I was like a part of the family.
I would do.
It's awesome.
I would do Mocha Mondays up in Harlem.
Oh yeah,
with,
Smokey's room.
Smokey's a beast too. Smokey's another animal.
I feel like that should be a rite of passage.
Yeah, I used to go. That was like the last few mics I would do too, because it felt like a real room, and it was like you said, to be the nights that you went well. I'd be like fucking just on the train.
Yeah.
I'd be like almost shadow boxing. It's like, I'm the best.
Yeah.
The nights it didn't go well, there'd be
God.
some evil coming out of my mouth that night.
Start kicking game on some dime piece at the bar. Feel real good.
Yeah. I fucking subscribe to Compound Media.
I can still hear this middle. I was doing a setup about how my self-esteem is so low. I'm no longer in my own dreams, and I heard this middle-aged black woman pick her teeth. Like, that's how silent the room was. And I was like, dude, I'll never. She looked away and just like sucked her teeth or like to try to get something out, and I was just like, oh, I'm bombing. Then I just crumbled.
As long as
and then Reggie Conquest went up after me and just shit on me. But I don't know what the fuck that guy was talking about.
Yes. And he looks over, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
You really have to understand there's consequences for your actions up there. But he was always very welcoming. Like if 2 or 3, randos showed up, they'd always throw you on. If you bomb, they were gonna fucking trash you.
Good.
Yeah, you got
and
trashed
it was gonna
if
kill.
you bomb. And also too, sometimes they would do it, and it was just like culturally in the like what the rite of passage would do is like, this next guy's a new guy. They would kind of bury it with the
Sure.
You got a new Jack coming up. I don't even really know if he's funny or not. You're like, what are you doing? Just say next guy's really funny. I mean, you're like, I don't even have the confidence to be in this room right now.
Well, if they lose confidence in you, they don't lose confidence in me. So they gotta try to separate you.
Exactly.
Gotta protect myself
This
here.
is very,
I'm not a
independent contractor there.
I'm not gonna start doing that now. If I'm hosting, go, this next act not really my cup of tea, but they do well. So come on.
But they're getting spots. So it was like it was definitely a glimpse into a fucking a different school of thought.